Good evening, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
If that's what we can call it.
Well, it's definitely one of the most interesting Wednesdays in a long time. But we're here with Inside Live. We're here to entertain you, have some interesting, provocative, fascinating conversation. We welcome you to join us on the chat.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here with you guys. It's nice to have that routine in our lives every Wednesday. It's good to be here with you. Thanks for watching on Facebook and YouTube, and thanks to our listeners on the radio waves at WPVM FM 103.7, Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville.
The voice of Asheville.
I'm ready.
Me too, I think.
What you got, Alice?
This song will say what I would... It's more eloquent than maybe I could be speaking.
All right.
Check out the chorus. Every night I have the strangest dream. All these ghosts are talking to me, laid down in my bed, and I can hardly sleep. These homeland blues have got a hold of me. Well, I went over to my cousin's house to see if we couldn't figure it out. He said it's plain to see you got them homeland blues. Well, but what hope have I got if what you're saying is true? And I got them homeland blues. Don't you know I got them homeland blues? Said I got them homeland blues. Honey, pull over, I got them homeland blues. The sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. I asked my mother, do you know what I mean? And she could hardly look up at me, had her eyes to her paper, and I knew she had them too. Had her eyes on the TV, I knew she had them too. Have you ever missed something that you never even had? You're down so low and you feel so bad. That's when you know you got them homeland blues. Well, that's when you know that you got them homeland blues. And I got them homeland blues. Don't you know I got them homeland blues? Said I got them homeland blues. Try to tell you I got them homeland blues. The sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. Tell him, Freebo. I went outside and I couldn't get a cab. All distracted by the night we had, I sat down on the curb, nursing my homeland blues. I'm half out in the street and I'm nursing my homeland the sooner I'll come running back to you. If home is where I left it, the sooner I'll come running back to you.
Yeah, lovely.
Thanks, everybody.
Appropriate way to start off the evening.
Certainly is. Well, Freebo and I are so excited to welcome tonight's guest, Eric Schwartz. And I gotta say, I am so looking forward to hearing him play.
Well, play and sing and talk and vibe and just
Tell
riff.
him a little bit about Eric.
Well, I met Eric back in at Kerrville, I believe, was the first time we met, the Kerrville Folk Festival back in 2002, and so we've been friends for almost 20 years, and I've just got to know Eric as a incredibly bright human being, interesting, incredibly talented,
Wise,
on so many levels,
funny.
wise, funny, serious, just the many sides of Eric Schwartz.
Yeah.
And maybe we should just bring him in.
Let's bring
and
him in.
Let the folks
All right.
enjoy for themselves.
Here he comes.
I don't know
Hey.
which side should I show you there?
I think we need a nice selection of all of it tonight. How are you,
All right.
Eric?
I'm good, but at Freebo, I must correct you.
How's
we
that?
met at a folk alliance. I will never forget you standing in the hallway with your bass and your rainbow guitar strap,
Which I
and-
still have.
And were you at the John Denver Jam? Was that the year that all happened?
What?
Why
There was
would
a
I do
John.
it?
There was a John Denver Jam until the wee hours became the not so wee. Yes.
Wow.
You know, I
Wow.
think you're right, because I think I was at Folk Alliance, and I think it was in Jacksonville before I went to Kerrville. So I think you're right. It was 2002. So my apologies. How you doing?
I'm great. Great. That's great. You know, it's a great day to be an American.
It is. Yes
Yeah.
and no.
proud as can be.
Yeah. Hey, I just wrote a piece of a song. Can I just play you the
Yeah,
piece of
please.
a song I just wrote for you?
God,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
All right. Let me see if I can. Of course, I didn't sit. I actually sat down a couple hours ago to try to write a song about today, and I couldn't. And of course, I can figure it out like 5 minutes before. It's on my phone. Let me see. I don't even know what the music is, but it's something like. Well, if you're appalled at them all breaking into the Capitol. If you find yourself breathing through a tube at the hospital. If you're ready to admit that the president is pitiful, maybe next time you'll listen to a liberal. That's as far as I got.
It's a strong
that's
start,
funny.
Eric.
It's a good start, right? I think that's it. I don't think I can get stronger than that.
It's a great
Maybe you
start.
should just.
I think that's it.
It's just a jingle length. It's yeah.
Be a jingle.
Yes.
I like it.
Maybe.
Yeah. I see you have your hunting hat on. Looks like, reminds me
It
back
is.
of
What is
my
it,
days
cold
of
over there
deer
in-
hunting days back in
Cambridge?
Pennsylvania.
It's very cold in Cambridge, Massachusetts. You know what? I didn't have my camo, so I went for this. It is
God.
cold up here.
Looks good, man. I like it.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Eric, would you start us off with a full length song?
A full-length song.
Full-length song, yeah.
Right. If I leave here tomorrow. No, okay. Where are we going here? Let's start with what I was actually going to play at the beginning here. And really, you know, for all of you non-liberals out there, well, you're probably not there anymore. But let's see
Scared
here.
him right off.
Nice hat, bright red, recycled Nazi slogan emblazoned on your head. Wait a minute, let me check. Unless I'm mistaken, that's a cross around your neck. Well, that's for a lover, the hat's for a liar. They go together like holy water and hellfire. Well done, nice move. But I got a hard time believing that your Jesus would approve. 'Cause if you held your tongue when 45 made fun of a prisoner of war, as he lined his cronies' pockets while abandoning the poor. If he put those kids in cages and you voice no opposition, you can call yourself a trumper. Don't you call yourself a Christian? Now, the reason why I decided to play this particular song was, if you watch one of the news programs and all the people that are mobbed around the Capitol, there's a couple of people that have flags that say, one of them just says Jesus and has a fish, and one of them says Jesus 2021 like he's running for office. And so this song kind of seemed a natural. Let's say I'm addressing that person. Shall we say that? Well, that Bible on your shelf, have you read it? The part about loving your neighbors and giving aid to strangers. Well, I hope you think you love the guy that said it. Well, because I hear that he loves you, but he loves all sinners too, so don't feel special. It wasn't earned. You could not fill up a Dixie cup with everything you've learned. You can call yourself American, that's all well and good. You can call yourself Republican, though I don't know why you would. You can call yourself pro-life while abandoning living. You can call me a sick heretic, but don't you call yourself a Christian. Well, you swear that you're God-fearing. Well, I'd fear him too if I believed in him and I behaved like you, trumpeting your righteousness while casting every stone and worshiping a golden calf on his golden throne. If you force a girl to bear a child, and that child grows up in poverty because assistance is denied, she goes to school one sunny day. She has to hide out in the closet thanks to the NRA. Then she runs home choking on the air, cause the EPA's been gutted by the gutter billionaire who abuses his authority, sows hatred of minorities, steals from his own charities, defrauds his university, brags about adultery, lies to you relentlessly, conducts treasonous diplomacy, threatening our democracy, takes infinite emoluments, weaponizes ignorance, glorifies his decadence, and ridicules intelligence, undermines the sciences, invalidates alliances, advocating violence, destroying the environment. He demonizes immigrants, puts crosshairs on our journalists, defends the white supremacists, and helps the ISIS terrorists. He's a rapist and a racist and a traitor and a bully, a narcissist, misogynist, and this is just a partial list. Well, if all of that's okay with you, then listen. That just might be a message you've been missing. Until you make compassion your mission, don't call yourself a Christian.
Well, that was deep, you know.
Heavy.
I think some people loved it, Eric. I think some people hated it.
Isn't that the way of the world?
But that's exactly where we're at these days, you know. And all I got to say is, you know, if you have enough of a voice on the chat to state your mind and to throw out slurs, I think we have the same right to speak our mind musically or otherwise. You have a choice to stay tuned or not stay tuned. But, you know, to me, what this whole thing is about is a division. And I must say that the current president created this division and his followers are following it. The new president says he wants to end this division as much as possible. I would say that I am in that camp, and I feel we are divided. And I feel that if we could somehow sit down and talk about our differences. Sorry, Dean Hosletter, that you're gone. Maybe you stayed around. But if we could talk about our differences, I believe we would find some commonalities. But if you just call people, you know, it's a bitch slap and different kinds of things like that, then you show me exactly who you are, and you show me exactly how closed-minded you are. I don't want to be that way. That's all I got to say. I want to talk about issues, you know, and not call names. And that's one of the things that I have to say today. Thoughts, Eric?
Did I get threatened with a bitch slap?
Oh, you got bitch slapped. No, you did.
I got bitch
It was
slapped.
just virtual.
You got
It
bitch
didn't
slapped,
hurt
yeah.
because it was just.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd think that. What do you think the sound effect would be for a bitch slap? It can't be like ding. It would have to be like ah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Hey.
Put those chat back on there. I'll what you
All right.
were saying.
I'll put it back.
I mean, this is a heavy day in America.
It's a heavy day.
You know what? If you're offended by anything I just said, let's just talk about what happened today, and then we'll talk about why you're offended about what I just said.
I mean, I'll just say,
now.
like, if anyone is having a problem with the show tonight, I'd just really prefer if.
And Samuel
if you
Moose,
did not comment in the
Samuel
chat.
Moose, you are. I'm calling you out because you're the one who's bitch slapping. Moved to Canada, asshole, Freebo. You know what?
No. I'm just going to stay in the United States because we're going to have Biden as president. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Samuel, all I got to say is I'm staying here, man. I have as much right to be here as you. I'm not going to stoop to your level, but if you want to do that, but I would like to do that song. Sorry, Dean, I'm glad you're still with us. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And I want to do a song that speaks to the way I feel about that separation. Some of you have heard this before. I was born in a small coal town, eastern Pennsylvania, very conservative part of the world. Bunch of wonderful, honest people. I was raised in the 50s, and back in those days, Republicans and Democrats not only spoke to each other, they got along, they talked about issues. The American dream was very much alive, and I would like to say, with the results, to have a black man and a Jewish man elected in a southern state to the United States Senate is part of that American dream. I'm very proud of our country for getting to that level. And the separation that has occurred since when I grew up and the drowning of that American dream. I'd like to keep it alive, and I want to share this song with y'all because it speaks to that whole thing about my dismay of the separation, and I just I implore you all to see what we can do, at least in this 90 minutes that we're together, right, Alice?
Yes.
That we can do in this 90 minutes, and how we can find some way to come together, try and understand each other, to talk about the differences, and to let go of the rage and the anger. I know we all have it in one way or another, but it's not doing any good. So I'd like to share this song with you.
Eric, I just want to remind Eric to mute yourself, or don't sneeze, or anything like that.
Yeah. This song's called Before the Separation. Let me take my headphones off here. All right.
I'm ready.
This goes out to anybody who's listening.
They're listening.
Was it an illusion back when I was young, when everyone was living on a promise? In unity and dignity, together we were one, believing in the freedom of a dream. Once upon a great frontier, not so long ago, the hope of man and earth were so connected. This beautiful creation, here to help us grow, is watching as it slowly slips away. On this carousel of madness, on a horse to kingdom come, I see our dream just melting in the sun. Won't you take me back to Eden, to a time when we were one, before the separation had begun? For the ones who have the money and the many who have not, the great divide grows wider by the moment. Equal opportunity, it doesn't mean a lot to the one who has to struggle to get by. On this carousel of madness, on a horse to kingdom come, I see our dream that's melting in the sun. Won't you take me back to Eden, to a time when we were one, before the separation had begun? Hiding in our lives, we blindly close our eyes. Safe but not so sound, no freedom to be found, no. Now I will give my heart and soul, show undying faith, fighting for a cause that I believe in. Tactical delusions lead me not astray, for the voices of the healing will survive. On this carousel of madness, on a horse to kingdom come, I see our dream that's melting in the sun. Won't you take me back to Eden, to a time when we were one, before the separation had begun? Oh, won't you take me back to Eden, to a time when we were one, before the separation had begun?
Very appropriate, Freebo.
That's
Beautiful.
my statement.
Welcome back, Eric Schwartz.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. That's a beautiful song.
Yeah, yeah. So, if we could turn to a discussion of music for a moment, if I may. I mean, I'm with a couple of very outspoken guys here. I'm like somewhere between having a panic attack and like my fear of confrontation is like bubbling to the surface of my being right now.
What's on your mind, Alice? Come on.
My heart is like racing.
Come on.
No. I genuinely want to ask. I want to ask Eric a question.
Go ahead, please.
All right.
Eric, I want to know a little bit about where you come from musically. How did you begin writing songs? What did you listen to growing up? Kind of what inspired you as a kid, and what did your parents listen to? Where did you come from musically?
Well, I was born in 1969, so my parents were, the first music I started listening to a lot was the stuff that my parents had in the house, which was like Jesus Christ Superstar and Rumors and more John Denver than you could possibly imagine. And, John Denver seems to
He's
be
coming up
today.
twice tonight.
Wow.
You're really good at John
Obviously,
Denver
we need
thing,
him
huh?
to soothe our
guess
souls.
I guess so. And James Taylor and Joni Mitchell and
yeah.
Cat Stevens and all the singer-songwriters. But then I got into musical theater, so one of my main influences really became Stephen Sondheim as a lyricist. Who's
Oh, wow.
a genius lyricist.
Yes.
And the man of the perfect rhymes.
Of perfect
Perfect
rhymes.
rhymes.
So
Very important.
I took a lot from that, and then into the Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and Donny Hathaway and Aretha Franklin and Chaka Khan and stuff like that. So I ended up going there. But so I was at Greenwich Village playing 4 hours a night, Brown-Eyed Girl and American Pie, in village clubs like the Bitter End and Back Fence and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I got my skills with a Z together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I started writing. And so one day, I'm sitting at the Cafe Figaro on the corner of McDougal and Bleecker in Greenwich Village. It's like legendary. Everybody hung out there before I was there. But I'm sitting there, and there's this guy, this is a bald guy, and he's writing on a pad talking to somebody who then ends up getting up and leaving. And it was late at night, and I'm sitting here writing, and I'm like 23, 24, and I'm really passionate about songwriting because it's new for me. And we see something go on out the window, and the other guy leaves. Now it's just the bald dude and me. And we're seeing something happen outside. It was a limousine that pulls up, and all these young women get out, dressed to the nines, and they go down the street. And so we're both looking. We're both stopped writing. And he says to me from across the room, what do you think that's about? And we just start kind of guessing and talking a little bit. And I mentioned that I'm a songwriter. And he says, I've written a few songs myself. And I said,
here it comes.
I said, what's your name? And he says, Shell. It's Shel Silverstein.
Silverstein, yeah.
Right? All right.
Oh
and so,
my gosh.
And at which point I don't want to fawn or anything like that. And I was sitting down. It's hard to fawn when you're sitting down. But I kind of just nodded very knowingly.
Oh my gosh.
As a version of a bow.
Right.
And we kept talking a little bit, and then I had to go, and he said, let me give you one piece of advice. Never play in saloons because nobody's really listening. They're just drinking. So I handed him my little postcard that had all of the saloons I was playing on because that's all I was doing.
Oh
but
my gosh.
he had a point, which is nobody's listening. And the way I reacted to not being listened to is I'm far too insecure and egotistical at the same time. I am, as they say, I'm the piece of crap the world revolves around, as they say. So the kind of songs I started writing were more comedic. They were often profane, adult, and the whole idea was to get attention from people that ordinarily would not be listening. That's kind of how I came up.
I love that. And just so you know, it's working, first of all. I think from the first time I heard you, Eric, I was so struck by, I think I saw you at Neil Eckstein's house concert for the first time, Fox Run. And you sing this gorgeous song, Is It Wrong? I can't remember. Is that what it's called? Is it wrong to want to be loved by someone? Okay, it's such a beautiful song. And there's that contrasted with how utterly hilarious you are and how just stinging your comments are in some of your songs. And I love how you manage to keep that balance. It's really amazing to me.
And I've always, I don't want to say counseled, but supported you in, I love that balance between the really sweet and the honest, the profane, the profound, on the edge, that it's like, it's who you are, obviously.
Yeah.
You're a many-sided human being, as we are. And I admire your courage. So, you know what? I'm just going to put it out the way I feel. And if I want to get silly, I'll get silly. And if I want to get super intelligent, I'm going to try and do that. So
I admire the courage too. I mean, man, do you get nervous like before you do?
Eric, get nervous?
I mean, have you ever?
I'm not nervous about what my lyrics are. I'm nervous about forgetting my lyrics.
That's so funny.
I've become less courageous. I've become less interested in. You wouldn't know it by the first song I sang. But I generally have become less interested in pushing buttons and saying it just because I'm not supposed to. So
I see.
Right.
Many of my songs make me uncomfortable. And that said, when you're making a record or making a video, there's nobody there to boo you, because in the end, if I'm entertaining, or trying to be entertaining in front of people, I'm not doing anyone any good by annoying or angering half the people in the audience, or even a quarter of them. I want to entertain. I want it to be a show.
But it also sounds to me, Eric, like it means you're getting more genuine rather than say, okay, I'm going to do this because it would be the thing to do, as opposed to this feels right for me at the moment.
I hate don't tell anyone, but I may be growing up.
Oh God, no!
By the way,
Horrors.
hi Neil. I sent Neil Eckstein's on there, Fox.
Yay,
right?
hi Neil.
Oh, sweet.
But
I just-
sorry, do you want to follow up on that? Go ahead.
I have a comment
Sure.
after what he said. Now it just flew out of my mind. Now it's gone. It's
Well,
gone.
I was
I'll come
while
back to it.
Alice tries to think of her comment, I was going to ask you send a request for "Is It Wrong?" because not only
Ooh, I was going to request something totally raunchy.
Oh, you were? Well,
Yeah.
how about the one after that? Because I think especially after the raunchy song you played, and since we're showing the many sides of Eric Schwartz, this is a beautiful side, and with your lovely voice and the chords and the whole way this song is put together out of, you say, somewhere between the singer-songwriter world that you referred to and the R&B world that you referred to, and I think this song speaks really well. And I wish I could play along with you, but unfortunately the internet will not allow that.
The internet will not allow that. All right, I will do my best with it. And if my hand gets caught up in this, it's
Oh,
because
I know.
it. You know what? Could you guys vibe for about just chill, jam?
Oh, we can vibe.
verbally for like a couple of minutes while I
Can
go and
we
untangle
ever?
This. Hold on.
Oh, in that case, why,
Take your
Alice,
time.
you want to do a song in that case?
Sure.
All right, we can do that. We've got plenty to do.
We can do that.
We could entertain you guys for hours, and ourselves as well.
And maybe I'll make my comment that I was just thinking. We're watching some comments coming in from you guys, and thank you for being engaged and communicating with us, because we really appreciate it. Somebody had said to keep the politics out of the music, and something that I just feel really strongly about, and more in the last couple years, I feel like have come into this realization that, to me, the tradition that we are in, which is as songwriters and as inheritors of folk music and blues, to not say what we believe is antithetical to the
It's
type
dishonest,
of music
really.
that
Yeah.
well, I just don't think that the kind of music we play can exist without people speaking their minds.
Right.
And I think also to separate who we are as people and what we believe, to try to separate that from the music that we make, I just don't think that works, because your reaction to like the way that I sing or what I write and like my sensibility as an emotional person is like, that's also related to what I believe about human rights and civil rights and equality and it is political. Like our lives are political. It's who we are, and it's what we believe, and it's so important. So I just, I saw some of you guys commenting on that, so I just I wanted to say that. I'm not as much of like a real, like I have a hard time expressing that sometimes, because I definitely fear the confrontation, and I think probably many of us feel that way. It's like we just want to, there is a desire to be like, oh, I just want to enjoy some music right now. I don't want to feel those feelings, but I think we do have to have a way to bring it in, because the music is actually this like delivery system that's really gentle because it's music. So
Well, and I think there's another side to that. A lot of people expect us, well, you're musicians, you're singers, you're songwriters, just play your music, let your music speak for itself, and that's true. On the other hand, when we write pieces, whether it be on Facebook or any kind of social media or on our web pages, we often do express opinion, and like you, Alice, sometimes you get a thing like, hey, just shut up, don't tell me how you feel, just play your music.
Right.
And it's very annoying. It's the absence of freedom of speech. It's like, okay, so who do we leave that to? Do we leave that to the politicians? If you leave that just to the politicians, then you really don't have a voice in this democracy. So I think we're all able to do that. Yeah, it's a question of how you do it, and in a political song, it's a question of how in your face you're going to get, right?
Right, and the bottom line is, if there are
Eric,
words,
Wait, Eric, wait.
Eric is back. What's that?
Come back.
hi, I'm back.
Hi.
If there are words, you have to make them about something, and what are the question is, what would be a good topic for that person who says don't be political? And you know what this is? This is somebody actually asked. It's a composite acoustic is the name of the guitar.
Very cool.
It's a guitar. It's an acoustic guitar. which makes me think of folk music, which makes me think of Peter, Paul, and Mary, which makes me think of Bob Dylan. And go up to Bob Dylan and tell him not to be political. I mean, this is folk music. There's plenty of Kenny G out there if you would like not to be bothered by thoughts.
True.
Unless Kenny's out there, in which case, Kenny, you're very deep.
And you might be. So, Bruce Lee, if you're leaving, sorry about that. We're about to play some music, but that's your choice. So, Eric, would you do Is It Wrong for me, please? And for Alice, because I know she loves the song.
I do.
Is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? Is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? I saw her sitting across a smoky room. She appeared to be alone. She had a face that make the angels swoon. She had a figure make a dead man moan. I ordered one of what she was drinking and sent it over with a paper napkin. On the other side I had written nothing fancy, just a simple question. Is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? Is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? She asked the waiter where the drink had come from. He pointed over in my direction. She looked at me and she nodded thank you. And then he told her about my inscription. She turned it over and read it slowly, and it was subtle, but I think she smiled. Then she got up and started walking towards me. I tried to hide it as my heart went wild when she said, is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? Well, is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? She took me by the hand, led me out to the floor, and got real close, and we started dancing. I said, I can't believe this, you're so amazing. I didn't even think I stood a chance, and well, here we are romancing. A bottle broke and it woke me from the daydream. I looked over there and she was gone. So I went over and I found that napkin with the circle where she put a drink on. I folded up, I put it in my pocket. I paid the tab and I hit the pavement. I started humming as I walked along. I didn't get the girl, but I got this song. Yeah, yeah, well, is it wrong, whoa, to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you? Well, is it wrong to want to be loved by someone as lovely as you?
Thank you for that.
Nice, Eric. Sweet,
Just
man.
love that
You're
one.
welcome.
Love
Thank
that
you.
song. When did you write that? How many years ago?
Probably around 2002 in a bagel shop in Chicago.
I love it. I just want to
A
mention.
woman walked by. I'm sorry, go ahead, yeah.
Oh no! Tell us. The woman walked by and.
And I had the thought, is it wrong? I mean, I just had the thought, is it wrong? And then I just wrote the song. That was it.
I love how songs just come from thoughts like that so much. It's just about making sure you write it down when you have the thought.
And here I thought it was a joke. You know, a woman walks by in a bagel shop. So where's that going to go from there? Alice, what you got?
Yes. All right, Eric, I'm going to do a song here. Hey, and just while we're on us, just a couple announcements.
Yes.
I did want to say again that we are so excited to be broadcasting our show. It's being rebroadcast on a radio station now in Asheville, North Carolina. It is on WPVM 103.7 FM, the voice of Asheville. And we are so happy that they picked up Inside Live and that you all are so supportive of us. So thank you, Davine. Thanks to James Nave for making the connection to Davine and the station. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, it's a real surprise that that's happening, and we're hoping maybe we can get picked up by a couple Pacifica stations. You know, we'll edit the show for an hour broadcast, so you guys are hearing the full thing. But at some point, you can also check it out. Where else can they check it out? You can check out all these things are archived, right?
Yep. And many of you are watching on Facebook and or YouTube. We're on Norman's Rare Guitars YouTube channel. Thank you so much to Norms here in Tarzana, California, for supporting us and supporting the show. And thanks to Jen for helping us so much backstage. We're really excited for the next time we can be at the shop in person, which should be in the next couple of weeks.
Looking forward to that.
And we're also live on my Facebook page, Alice Howe Music, as well as Freebo's page, Freebo fan page. And yeah, it's been great to be able to connect with you guys in all those different places. And for those of you who would like to support tonight's artists, you can find out about supporting the artist tonight by going to alicehowe.com. And for those of you who would like to make a donation, as I mentioned, you can go to paypal.me/AliceHoweMusic. I've been putting that in the chat. You can also go to Venmo at Alice Howe Music, and we do split the tips up between the three of us, and we really appreciate that. So thank you for considering sending us a little tip for tonight's show.
You know, and at some point we should talk about our sponsors and about the contest we have going, so that we've got a giveaway for
play a song first.
Can we play the song first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of want to try Too Long at the Fair.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a while, but I feel like today we've all been too long
Too long
at the fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I'm so glad you're doing this song, Alice. I remember bringing this song to you several years ago, a song that I was very proud to have recorded with Bonnie Raitt in 1972, and I thought, wow, I wonder if Alice can do this song, and you did.
Oh my God, the pressure is on.
Yeah, now the pressure's really on. But no, I think you do it differently than Bonnie, but you do a beautiful version, so let's hear it.
Oh my gosh, Kirsten Maxwell, hi.
Hey, Kirsten.
So glad you're here. Glad it sounds good. Jesus Christ.
One more time. Are you in C?
Am I in?
You should do it in B, yeah. I thought, wow, am I playing some wrong notes or what? They were wrong for what you were playing, that's for sure.
Here we go. Jesus cried, wept and died. I guess he went up to heaven. Been downtown such a long, long time. I'll never make it home by 7. Won't you come and take me home? I've been too long at the fair, and Lord, I just can't stand it anymore. Well, I went down to Jason, walked till my feet were sore, but I never knew what laughing was till you walked out just my pride, but I have heard the Prince of Darkness on his charger ride. The silver blade is gleaming, the scales are in his hand. I swear the night is falling, don't you lose another man. Won't you come and take me home? I've been too long at the fair, Lord, I just can't stand it anymore. Lord, I just can't stand it anymore. You know I've been too long at the fair. I just can't stand it anymore. Won't you come and take me home? You know I've been too long, yeah. Thank you. Eric, are you there? I see you. Hello.
Hi there.
There he is.
Welcome back.
Hi. Thanks.
You
That
keep
was
taking
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What do I keep doing?
Oh, you just, when I look at you backstage, you're like sometimes not there. I'm like, uh-oh, he's gone.
Uh-oh. Oh, you can. Oh, I shouldn't have been doing that thing I was doing.
Yeah,
I had
you
no
should.
idea you could still see me.
I can see what you're doing back there.
Oh my God, I was. Oh wow. No, I was.
Don't worry,
I
they
was-
didn't see.
I was knitting.
Of course you
Oops.
were.
I
I just want to say, Eric, what I was going to say earlier. I just think it's cool that Eric and I went to the same high school in Newton, Massachusetts.
Really? Oh,
we
my
sure
goodness.
did.
Let's go with that.
Newton North. Go Tigers.
was about to say I didn't know that, and there's a reason why I didn't know that. I went to South.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Never mind.
So you guys got to get your facts straight. Freebo thought we met at Kerrville, and you thought I went to Newton North.
Also, that's
You're
a
the
real,
worst
I don't
interviewers
know if-
ever.
I don't know if we could be friends anymore, Eric. That's kind of a big deal.
Were you in sports?
No.
Okay.
Do I?
Because
Was I in sports? Is that
you
really?
could be.
Really?
You're healthy and hale. You could be.
Maybe like it would have been croquet team. Did you do musicals in high school? Were you?
I sure did.
What were you in?
Ooh, I was in Oh Brother. Oh Brother was interesting. It was a retelling of, I think, maybe The Two Gentlemen of Verona that came out the day after the Iranian hostage crisis and had one
Oh.
performance and closed because it was there. It took place in the Middle East, and one of the lines was an Arab man says, "We like you, so we're going to hold you for ransom." Came out during the hostage crisis. It was very bad, but it was
Oh,
kind of a fun play. It was kind of a fun play, and Candide. We did Candide, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, cool. I was gonna say I was in a production of Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Very nice.
Which I believe is Sondheim. Am I
Correct.
Is it?
okay?
Yes.
Whew,
Yeah.
thank God. Okay. Yes, because sometimes it gets stuck in my head. There's one song from that when you said a perfect rhyme, it's. Do you know the music from that? This is.
I don't. I don't.
Never mind. You know what? I'm not even going to go there.
Oh, come on. What is it?
I'm lovely, all I am is lovely. Lovely is the one thing I can do. Winsome, what I am is winsome. Radiant as in some dream come true. Okay.
Aw. And he also wrote I Feel Pretty. So
Right.
there's a there's a
I guess he's got a theme
he's
going
into
there.
I guess he does.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Eric, would you play another song for us?
Sure. We were talking before about different sides of a personality, and the first song was all about anger and division, and I'm a complete hypocrite. Let me start by saying I'm a complete hypocrite because I don't think I'm alone in that. I mean, in one side, I am quite sure I'm right, and the other side is wrong. I just know it.
Well, at least you self-examine. Hypocrites don't self-examine.
Right. And on the other side, I'm quite aware that we all started out, coming up from the sludge, and we're all
Crawling
animals.
out.
We crawled out, and then we're running through the woods, and there's no us and them at that point. Although there was tribe. Never mind, that makes no sense. There was tribe, and this is all still tribal. So everything I said was wrong. But anyway, this is a song I wrote. Basically, it's somewhat emotionally manipulative because if you don't forgive me for my foibles, then that means that you're not a good person. So, all right. I know. I was asking. I called my friend Eric. Eric was living in Arizona.
Are you talking about yourself right now?
My friend. I'm my friend.
My friend
No.
Eric.
No.
A different Eric, no doubt.
For some reason, at this very moment, Eric's last name is escaping me.
I feel like you
but-
were talking about the other side of your personality. I was like, wow, this is really serious.
I'm so happy you're calling me. Shut up.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Eric, I called him up. I said, hey, I'm traveling through Arizona. Do you have a gig for me? And he said, when are you coming through? I said, on a Sunday. And he said, well, I play at a church on Sundays. Do you know any gospel songs? And I said, no, but I can write one. And he said, I'm an atheist, but I can write a gospel song. And so that's the thought. This is the song I came up with.
All right.
There is one whom I have wronged, and he looks at me angrily, and this bothers me. No matter what I do, I offer my apologies, but always he ignores my pleas. But I ask myself what the better man would do. He wouldn't forgive me, so well, I'll forgive me too. There've been so many times that I have felt so low, I would rather die than look at me from someone else's view. And always there were those who would gladly tell me that I'm no good. But I ask myself what the better man would do. He would love me, so well, I will love me too. Well, I've been ashamed the life that I've been living, so take my hand and tell me I'm forgiven. So if you're walking down the street and you see a soul who's in defeat, don't you pass her by, no matter what you do. 'Cause sister, don't you understand that when you lend a helping hand, the person you really help is you. Well, love your neighbor and she will love you too. If you do the things the better man would do.
Great song, Eric. Heard
Beautiful.
that before really well. I didn't know that it was a gospel challenge. But
Gorgeous.
nicely
TV show.
done. Ah,
Gospel
beautiful.
challenge.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gorgeous. Freebo, you got your guitar.
I do have my guitar.
Shall we?
Well, actually, yes, and I think
this is the one.
I would like to do a song in honor of Eric that I wrote with Eric, or Eric wrote with me, however you want to look at it. And actually, the truth is, I came up with the idea. I thought it'd be interesting to, since some people in the folk world can just be very, very folky. And I come from many worlds, the folk world.
Explain that
the
comment.
blues. Well, it's just that it's all about folk music. And I think that's true with anything, right? I mean, it goes into politics, it goes into religion, it goes into anything. You know how we just tend to get in our own little tribal kind of a thing. So folk people can do the same thing. And I am a man of many genres. And so I thought that, I came up with the idea of, don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? That's funk, people, F-U-N-K. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? And I came up with a little idea for a chorus, and I thought that'd be really funny. And so I thought, well, this song needs to be funny. And I thought, funnier than I am, who could I get to write this with me? And I thought I'd call it Mr. Eric Schwartz. And I did, and we got together. And,
He was the right person to call.
I did. I love his song.
I will say that when I first saw you guys do this song, Eric is usually the one that does the part that I've been singing. So, Eric, I'll do my best.
You better.
Yeah.
Freebo even tried to make me learn the bass part, but I found it humanly impossible to sing that part and play the bass part, the funky bass part at the same time. I'm gonna really need to spend some time with that.
Make it happen.
All right. I also just want to mention, folks, we are doing another giveaway tonight of a Cordial cable. And thank you to Cordial Cables USA
And
for
Mike, who's
being,
watching tonight.
and our
Thank
friend
you,
Mike
Mike.
Smith for supporting us. Cordial Cables are super premium instrument and mic cables. They're a German company. They're impeccably made. They have a lifetime warranty, and it's the only cable you'll ever need. If you're interested in learning more, you can go to cordialcablesusa.com. That's Cordial, Cordial. And tonight we are giving away a cable for a lucky winner. So we've chosen a number between 1 and 100, and it's written down here. So if you guys just want to pick, guess your number, put it in the chat, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. I can see everything coming in, so give us your best guess, and we'll pick somebody. Maybe we'll do it after, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. So put your guesses in. All right, Freebo.
So with Funk Up the Folk, I was also very surprised to find out that this song was entered in a wonderful songwriting contest, a great organization called Just Plain Folks. And there are literally tens of thousands of songs that are submitted to this organization, this contest in many ways. And somehow our song, Funk Up the Folk, was submitted. I don't remember submitting it, and Eric doesn't remember submitting it, but somebody submitted it, and it won. funk song of the past 3 years. It's pretty interesting. So it's kind of a... Would you hold this for me, please?
This precious.
It is both a folk song and a funk song. That's why we call it Funk Up the Folk. There's a wrong that needs righting, I gotta say out loud. There's a time for uniting, a time to stand proud. People raising their voices to do the right thing. People coming together to stand up and sing. Now the music makes the mountains move. But it ain't gonna move without no groove. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Well, it ain't no crime and it ain't no joke. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Funk it up.
That's your part.
Well, I got no gripe with the kumbaya, but what would have happened if Woody had a wah-wah? Dylan was a killing in 64. When he plugged it in, he was killing it even more.
I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more.
Marvin Gaye and Marley
Had it on a funky beat.
When the masses heard the music, they were taking it to the street. Oh, don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Well, it ain't no crime and it ain't no joke. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Funk it up. Puff the Magic Dragon, Charlie on the MTA.
Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned.
Never returned. Mr. Tambourine Man, each one sold $1 million in their day.
Come on, people now,
Smile on your brother, the times they are changing. Sonny, the beat goes on with a little bit of rearranging. Sweeten up the same old song. Oh, don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Well, it ain't no crime and it ain't no joke. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Funk it up. If the TV news got you singing the blues and your head is spinning around, get your tie-dye tee and your blue suede shoe, put in the good foot down. Oh, don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Well, it ain't no crime and it ain't no joke. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Funk it up.
Well,
What is it? Yeah.
Hope you're not shocked or offended.
Oh, well, we thank you, Eric. Hope you're not shocked or offended by the message we shared in this song. But we needed to add one more verse here, 'cause folk songs you know are quite long. But we're all out of things to express now. And also we've run out of rhyme. So what shall we do? Can you guess now?
Can you guess, Eric?
I can. Yes, Will. You guys do it.
Yes, we'll sing the chorus one more time. Whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up? Well, it ain't no crime and it ain't no joke. Don't you think it's time to funk up the folk? Don't you think it's time to funk it up?
Funk it up. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, somebody getting an ABA for him. Oh, gosh, I love that.
I think they were digging that
Very
one.
good.
Hey, I just want to announce the winner because somebody guessed the exact number.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Great.
Sam Stamos, you guessed 78. That was our number for tonight.
All
So
right,
Sam,
Sam.
congratulations. You
And-
are the winner of a Cordial cable tonight. Just head to my website, alicehow.com, and go to the contact form and just enter your name and send me an email that way. And I'll get back to you with the order form. So
And Sam is a regular listener to the
He is,
show, so
yeah.
thank you, Sam. Thanks for your support. Glad you got a payoff. Oh, by the way, he gets a T-shirt with that
He does
too.
get a
you know that.
T-shirt.
So send us what size, small, medium, or large, extra large, and we'll make sure that Cordial gets that to you.
hey, Eric.
Eric, do you know that you
Hi
get
there.
one of these cords as well for being on the show?
I am so excited about this. It's a lifetime thing. Now,
It's a lifetime
right?
guarantee.
Is it a lifetime guarantee?
Literally,
It
yeah.
is.
No, they're
So-
they're really good.
So let's say I get stuck in the mud and I've got
And
this
that happened.
cable and I need something to put under the wheel to get out of the mud. If I put the cable under the wheel and I get out of the mud and it
Gets
somehow
messed up?
becomes marred, do I get a new one?
I
Like,
say
are there any limitations to this warranty?
Well,
There
I don't
are
know. The other day, Freebo sliced one in half by accident with like the leg of a chair. So
I did. You know how sometimes when you have a stool and they have these rubber stoppers on them, and when the rubber stopper comes off, the stool is very, very sharp. I somehow got the cord underneath that. It literally sliced the cord. And you know what? I told Cordy all about it. Of course, I have a special relationship with him, but they sent me another cord. So I would say, if that happens to you, Eric, and you do get stuck in the mud and you use it as chains like snow chain, but mud chains, call me. I will put you in touch with Mike at Cordial, and we'll see what he can do.
Who knows? They could actually put that in the advertisement. It doubles. It's a floor wax and a dessert topping.
Oh, my
exactly.
gosh.
That could happen.
we had a comment that the folks at Cordial, he said we've used them to tie down furniture and shot them with shotguns. So apparently, Freebo, you've really tested it to a new degree.
I destroyed it, Mike.
Besides what Freebo has done with these cords, they are indestructible.
Well, they're also actually, the sound is great,
It's
Eric.
all
You
about
should
the
know that
sound,
because
yeah.
they're made of like 99.9% copper, and really, we usually get a buzz from a lot of cords. These cords don't. So
Yes.
they're really excellent, really
Very
high-end
cool.
cords. So you get your choice of a 10-foot, a 20-foot guitar cord, or a mic cord. So
Yep.
come up, and then a T-shirt size of your choice.
Beautiful.
Let
So-
us know.
Eric, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How has this year been for you as far as your artistry? Have you been writing? How have you felt like as a songwriter this year? What have you been doing to pass the time? I know you got some kittens. I just want to know how it's been for you because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, I learned about myself this year that I'm actually quite an introvert. I am fortunate that I still have food, so that not working this year is not a hardship on me. I've got enough saved up, so it's basically just me hanging out myself. I've got my new kittens. I always have something to do.
Wait, excuse me. New kittens as opposed to old kittens? Sorry.
That's true. That's true. Thanks.
They were-
You
oh,
had
it's all
to.
right.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Old kittens, yes. All right.
That's a different. That conjures a different image.
Yes. Well, you hear old puppy, you never hear old kitten, though.
Meow. So no, new as in I just got them, right?
Okay,
I
I got
just
Yes.
Yeah, new to you.
then right.
They're old to somebody else, of course. But.
I'm really glad we took care of us.
You are just.
Sorry, man. Just
Anyway,
riffing.
that's right, just riffing.
I'm out of
And
here.
I'm doing a lot of playing. Like people are asking me to play on things like this or playing on my friend Carl Wern every Wednesday on Facebook has an open mic but first he has this feature where all these musicians get together and we've made some really cool videos and every day pretty much weekdays at 4:00 I just started doing this streaming piano improvisation thing with some like raindrops and like visuals like sea lions or clouds, snow, and it's just kind of like George Winston meets I don't know
Winston Churchill.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And it's meditative. So I've discovered a new kind of branch of
That's
what I can
cool.
do and enjoying it very much. So, but I'm not doing an awful lot of writing. Haven't been inspired too much, but this improvisation thing has kind of taken its place for the time being.
That's great though to work
Do you-
on your
Do
instrument.
you want to give us just an example? So,
Yeah.
not with the picture, but just the type of music you play with that?
All right, let's see here. Let's see. And it can be, it's talking half an hour, so there's not a lot going on sometimes, and it's just. That kind of stuff,
Yeah. Huh.
That's so
Just
lovely.
vibe, it's not about
Yeah.
technique. It's just kind of.
Right.
It's the bottom line is the instrument is a good instrument, music is good, and all I'm doing is kind of invoking music. It's not composition as much as it is, kind of improv painting kind of stuff. And
Well, and in terms of a lot of that
Yeah.
meditative type of music, you don't want to get too busy with it. It pretty much has to be simple because you almost want to relax the mind rather than stimulate the mind.
right,
Right?
right.
So are you working? When did your last record come out? And are you like preparing for another recording project, or are you like, I'm just curious where you're at with that. I know you do a lot of writing with like Neil and the Fox Run 5, and you guys have done so many great videos together in the past, and I'm just curious, what your plans are moving forward. Because I know you also, I know you also kind of took a break from music, so I'm curious. I don't know, where are you at with that?
I think my next recordings are going to be of more of the meditative variety for yoga classes, meditation, and stuff like that. I've taken a couple of playwriting classes, some prose classes. I traveled around the world and started writing a book. So I've got all these a lot of irons in the fire right now. I'm not really moved to make another record of songs right now.
Yeah.
But what brought me back into singing, singer-songwritering was the pandemic, and suddenly
Right.
this is what I know, this is what I do, and this is what I can do from home, and it just kind of brought me back into it.
Well, that's cool that you're working on so many different elements of your artist life. This year has been great for that,
It really has.
The idea of
And-
writing a book, or these are things we actually have so much time to really think about right now. So
Well, I think it's true when you're given time and space. It was really what meditation's about. It opens up a channel for things to flow into. So for somebody as creative as you are, even as we are, it really allows a certain, because creativity is just kind of a bunch of almost like impulsive ideas that come into your brain. Who knows where they come from? And then it's the question of how we put them all together. And without the time and the space, you can't do it. So it is interesting that even though COVID's been such a pain in the ass in so many ways, particularly for us traveling musicians, almost because we have been able to travel, we're sitting at home, we have more space, and these things happen. So it's interesting what you're doing with your time. And I just wanted to just do a quickie, because I know you mentioned about traveling the world, and you took a year off, and you did travel. Yeah. And you went to some very interesting places. What could you give us the Cliff Notes version of kind of why you did that, and perhaps how you feel that might have changed your life in a positive way now that you can look back with some perspective?
Sure. At some point, I kind of, the day I decided, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to be a singer-songwriter anymore. I was living in Los Angeles for about 12 years. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I just needed to cleanse my palate. So I posted to Facebook, "Can I crash with you? Where do you live?" That's all I posted. And I got 320 offers on 5 continents. so I put them all on a Google map, you know, with stars everywhere. And I would just, most of them in the United States. So when I started out, I needed to drive across the states, and I would just drive and then say, "Oh, there's a star over there in Spokane." I'd call up that person and say, "Can I crash with you tonight?" It was that kind of thing. But I did the States, I did Europe, and then I did about 7 months in Africa and India and Southeast Asia. And I just followed my nose.
7 months. Amazing.
Yeah. I started, one of the first days I was hanging out with the gorillas, the mountain gorillas in the mountains of Uganda in the windy, impenetrable forest. And you know, South Africa and India, and I just staying in hostels and buying a ukulele, which shows you how desperate I am, because I hate ukuleles. But, well, I couldn't have an instrument, so I got a ukulele.
That's what they're good for.
Anyway, so that's what I did, and I wrote a lot, and what I got out of it was both how small I am and how lucky, how unbelievably lucky I am, and how much entitlement and privilege I have as a white American man. And you know, what do you mean it's not ready? You know, I mean, there was all sorts of righteous rage, which for an American, we expect a certain level of service, and the customer is always right. And well, it's just not that way everywhere.
Right.
And when you don't get that, and I really was like, wow, I'm kind of a jerk sometimes. So I learned about that. I helped support a family in Nairobi. I met this guy, and I got on Facebook, and a bunch of people donated to help him have a better shop that they sell things out of. And so I met some people, and I just realized how lucky I am. And that it's all cake. It's all gravy. If you know, so.
Yeah, it sounds like great perspective. Like gave you some humility, and I mean, I'm a great, again, being from a small town and knowing what small town mentality can be like. I think the more you travel, the more you see that people are the same, and we all have the same emotions with different names, faces, and places, but we definitely have, like I said, beginning of the show, more commonalities and differences.
It's the people are commenting too. It teaches, humility, and you suddenly aren't in your familiar surroundings, so everything you think you know is different, and you become dependent on other people to like ask for help. And I have never been anywhere quite so different as what you were just describing, but I spent a semester in Spain in college in southern Spain, and I just remember waiting in a lot of long lines, and like that was totally normal, like at the bank, or which is funny now because we wait in lines more now, I think, than we maybe used to get into the grocery store and whatnot. But I remember just being like, oh, people they just wait in these lines and they don't mind and they're okay with it. It's like, who do I think I am? Like, that I'm supposed to just be able to pop in and take care of my business and get out. So I can relate to that.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No.
Did we tell people about our coffee giveaway?
We're going to get to it.
We are?
Yeah.
We better get to it pretty soon.
I want to hear another song.
Oh, okay.
Eric,
after another song.
Would you sing for us?
There we go.
Sure. Alice, you had we're going to
Oh.
request something.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me what it is? Or is it not appropriate? Is it not appropriate for the last song? Is it appropriate for any
Honestly,
song?
I
Yeah.
feel like I have a few like going through my mind. I'm not sure which one I don't even want to tell you what to do. I feel like you know. I'm just gonna let you I'm gonna let you go with what you want to play. I want you to play what you want to play, Eric.
Well, I guess I should do something on the.
I don't want to be responsible for what you end up doing.
No, I'm like I said, I know this is going on the radio, so.
It is. It's true.
All right. Here's a song called Beep. And you get beep. It's got and the beep.
Exactly.
All right.
If folks want to hear your full discography, where can they find it, Eric? Where
Eric
can-
Schwartz, EricSchwartz.com. EricSchwartz.com.
Cool.
Yeah, I was doing this at Soundcheck, and you were like, you guys are laughing at this one, so I figured, why not do this? Because anyway, it's
Okay.
Unless you wanted to hear something else, Alice.
No, I
Is
want
this
to hear
Telltale
this.
Kitchen?
This is great. I want to
Yeah.
hear this. I think the one I'm thinking of might not fly on the radio.
You can do it,
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's the one
Yeah.
about the long distance love.
Oh no, yeah, I can't do that one here. I mean, but if people want to Google "best laid plans," Eric Schwartz, they can see a performance of it done at Tasty Words in L.A. Best laid plans. It's one of my
Highly
favorite
recommend.
songs that I have written. So enjoy it. All right. The banana's looking brown except for where I left that sticker. Spice rack is empty except for cinnamon, salt, and pepper. The tea in the jar is 10 years old. Lemon, lint, and chamomile. And the coffee pot is sticking to the maker, which is sticking to the counter. Soup can sentinels guard the pre-colonial cupboard with hibernating honey tins of tuna and cardboard crackers. And now the brand new honey with the angel face wants to come over and see my place. And chewing on a grape/raisin, I mull it over. But I know it would kill the deal if she saw my Achilles heel. Telltale Kitchen. If you want her to stay, you best keep her away. Telltale Kitchen. Oh, a Telltale Kitchen. The microwave is broken, the smoke detector's smoking. Telltale Kitchen. Oh, over in the fridge, the mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, and butter have formed an uncanny resemblance to each other. Oh, the prehistoric bagels in the bag in the back are hiding from the dairy on the death row rack as the fish-flavored iceberg spawns upstream in the freezer. Now you would think that the sink wouldn't stink, cause it looks like it's hardly been used. But who knows what grows in the disposal after years of beers half drunk get dumped and nobody's fixing the water pump. Telltale Kitchen. If you want her to stay, you best keep her away. Telltale Kitchen. It's up. Kitchen. If you are what you eat, I'm maggoty meat. Telltale Kitchen. Oh, well, the The blender's on a bender, fermenting the remainder of a porridge of origin too ancient to remember. But mercifully, the rubber cap is permanently stuck there, so the substrate self-perpetuates ad nauseam infinitum. My ego is an ego, sequestered in the freezer like an Eskimo they let go for being a grumpy geezer, and the truffle of Drosophila assaulting the falafel make the Amityville horde look like a hospital ward. Telltale Kitchen. Oh, yeah. Take it, Eric. Sure. The garbage has grown, a bouquet of its own. Telltale Kitchen.
Love it.
Eric, every time I find new little magical moments.
The garbage has grown, a bouquet of its own. I love that. I mean, Eric, I've played that song with you a million times. You and I shared this yesterday at the sound check. I'm always so busy playing funky bass and thinking, wow, this is so cool musically. I really get to really hear the words. So, this is great, man. Clever stuff. I love it. Just really
Thank
neat.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Eric, thanks for. It's crazy. The time flies. It's time. So
Is it time? All right.
I'm gonna do one more song, but we thought
We thought maybe
don't have to sit through
we'd
it
give
if you
you
don't
your
want to.
due, say goodbye to you now, say our last words, not last rites, but our last words. And
Should I turn the microphone off after this? They
Yeah.
warned me. I'll tell anyone who's listening, everyone who's watching. They warned me, Eric. You realize that if your microphone is on while we're on and we can still hear you. So go ahead and sing, Alice.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Little commentary. Eric, it's been such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for being with us on this difficult evening of a auspicious day in the history of our nation. I'm glad we got to spend it with you. Lighten things up a little bit and also get real.
Yeah, I just for the last thing, Eric. I think we've explored at least some of the many sides of Eric Schwartz. But would you like to make just a comment on your thoughts about just kind of what's going on and where you'd like to leave our audience?
Georgia. The fact that things have gone the way they've gone politically, really, to me, I know that people on the right, many of them think completely opposite to this, but it's okay that they are wrong. I feel that good has won, particularly because of what happened in Georgia last night, and I am actually quite. I'm optimistic and very grateful that Washington does not allow firearms at protests, because things could have gone extremely differently.
Oh my God!
I think so. I think things are going to be okay. I think we're going through a really, really, really ugly thing, and I think our country is kind of in trouble right now. It's not good, but at least there's more good than bad, and that's as long as we continue to be strong and express and be where we need to be. I think the country's going to be okay.
Yeah. Well said. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And guys, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Eric
really.
Schwartz.
Oh, it's great to have you here.
Pleasure to have you.
And great to know you, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes, it is. Both of you.
Good to see you.
Me too.
All right.
Thanks for sharing the time with us, brother.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
And for the rest of you people, don't go away, because we've got another giveaway for you, and we've got another song by Alice Howe, and some last thoughts from the both of us about these interesting times. And just so you know, we're here every Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. We've got some wonderful guests coming up. Some of which will be live at Norris Ferry Guitars, where we get to play with the special guests and they get to play with us. And we're really grateful that you all keep coming back and support us. Thank you for that.
We look forward to it every week, and I've so enjoyed getting to hang out with our musical friends in this platform, and it's just really exciting to get to reach the folks on the radio at WPVM in Asheville, North Carolina. So thank you again to them for having us on. And we want to give away one more exciting present to one of you.
For you coffee lovers out there.
And who is not a coffee lover? This is a gift from our wonderful friend Arpi Maros and his coffee company. It is called the Fair Trade Coffee Company, and this is we're going to be giving away 1 pound of freshly roasted organic fair trade coffee. Fairtradecoffee.org. And so we are picking another number between 1 and 100, and it has already been chosen. So you can pick a number between 1 and 100 while I am playing this last song. And
put them in the chat, and the one who's closest will win the coffee.
I'd like to end with a song that I started writing when I was driving. I believe I was driving from Vegas to LA by myself. It was very warm and dry, and I was just kind of rolling down the highway, and I was thinking about how when we're on the road and we pass through so many towns in America, so many look so similar, and there are so many chains that, like, restaurants and hotels, and I just had this like overwhelming disease about like the corporateness of America, and it just made me sad. And that's kind of where this started, and I guess it turned into a commentary in my way of where I feel we are at in America at this moment in history. And like Eric, I have a lot of faith and hope in where I think we can get to. I think we have a chance now to build a country that's going to work for everyone. And I know that, you know, what really blew me away today, just if I may, is that if those were not white protesters, that would have looked like a really different scene. And I just couldn't stop thinking about that. And it felt like just a display of white privilege to me. And that made me really uncomfortable personally. So that's something I've been thinking about. But I'd like to share this song. But I do have hope. I am an eternal optimist. And I'm a traveling soul. And that's what this song is called. And
when you're done your song and the coffee's given away, I'll give my last respects, as it were.
The last rites. Hey, Yasi, by the way. I'm so glad you're watching. It's really nice to see your name come up. I hope you're doing well. Sending love to you. I am a traveling soul with a brand new set of wheels. They ask me how I do it. You know I like the way it feels. This is the life I chose, seeking truth along this road. It's the Let me try that again. Well, it's easy to be running, but so hard to stay behind. I have to keep in motion to ease my worried mind. But the more I see, the more I fear just what I'll find. It's the same old two-lane highway and the same old moon above. A world of contradictions and the longing to be loved. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road. It's a bitter pill to swallow. The country that you love has a history of written out in blood. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road. Now the towns that pass my windows, they all start to look the same, overrun by corporate greed disguised as household names. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road. Here we go. It's the same old two-lane highway and the same old moon above, a world of contradictions, but we're longing to be loved. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road. Bass solo. I could drive all night.
Can I do that again?
Do you want to do it on the verse?
On the verse.
I'm sorry. I could drive all night on this brand new set of wheels. Well, they ask me how I do it. I said I like the way it feels. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road. I am a traveling soul, seeking truth along this road.
You are a traveling soul, Alice.
I seem to have become one. Maybe I've
Yeah.
always been one. A time traveler.
Yeah, there's different kinds of traveling. But I was watching the chat as it's going by, and a couple of my friends, between Terry Moody, you had it there for a minute. I think you chose 89 or 87, but
The
but
closest.
then
Did
no,
you
but
see?
then Mike Edwards
Yes.
came in with a 90.
And our number was 93 for the coffee. So Mike
So,
Edwards,
Mike,
we are
You get the coffee.
proud to send you a pound of Fair Trade Coffee Company coffee, and thank you so much to Arpy. I'm going to be posting some more info about his company on my page after tonight's show, so you guys can easily find it's fairtradecoffee.org. Easy to remember. Thank you all. Oh, before we go,
What's that?
I just want to thank a couple more people.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
We're so grateful to Cordial Cables. You can find them at cordialcablesusa.com. Obviously, fairtradecoffee.org. Thank you to WPVM 103.7, the voice of Asheville, including Davine and James Nave. Thank you so much. Thank you to Mike Smith at Cordial. Thank you to the folks at Alert the Globe. I know they're redoing their website right now, but we're so grateful that they've been broadcasting Inside Live on their platform as well. Thank you to Norman's Rare Guitars in Tarzana, California. You can find them at normansrareguitars.com, and definitely subscribe to their YouTube channel. They post so many amazing videos. If you're not already a fan, you will soon be one. Find them on YouTube. It's Norman's Rare Guitars on YouTube.
Thank you to Chris DeMario at Fishman Amps for this beautiful amp that make it sound good, and the folks at Audio Technica for these microphones that they gifted us. We're really grateful, and if we sound good, they have a lot to do with it.
It's taken us a while to tweak our sound, but I think we're feeling confident about it.
We're getting there. Sound, picture, and thanks to Alice, our engineer, our director.
Yeah, I have to say I was pretty proud when Davine at the radio station was like, "It's not every day that you get a young woman engineer," and I was like, "Am I an engineer?"
That's great.
I didn't even know what to say to that. I was so excited. I've really come up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all. We don't yet officially know our guest for next week, but just stay tuned. You can always follow Freebo and me on Facebook, Alice Howe Music, Freebo fan page, and Instagram, Alice Howe Music. And we send out updates there. Both of us have a mailing list. You can find out more at freebomusic.com or alicehowe.com. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, we appreciate your support in so many ways, and your continued support. By the way, I didn't know Jesse Ed Davis. Somebody asked about that. I didn't know him personally, but was a big fan. I'm still a big fan of his playing. Jesse, unfortunately, has passed quite a few years ago, but you listen to any of those early Taj Mahal records, and just beautiful guitar playing on that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you've told me about him.
Yeah, very special. Native American guy. And boy, he really felt the blues and played them great. And for those of you who stuck with us, thank you for our particularly political show. We don't usually get into that much, but obviously these times, I mean, we just want to be real, and we don't want to have to apologize for anything.
It wouldn't feel right to just not. It's like either don't do the show at all on a night like this, or just be real about it. And I think both choices are valid, but we wanted to be here, so thanks for letting us share, who we are and what we believe, because it's really a huge part of the music that we make.
It is, and just to echo what Eric said earlier, I mentioned, but just what happened in Georgia, I think was incredible. And it's not just about being a Democrat or Republican, but it's about really two good guys. Again, a black man and a Jewish man. How often does that happen in a southern state, which is known for some of the things that happened in the South between Reconstruction and the Civil War and slavery. To have that happen is really amazing. And honestly, the two people they replaced, not exactly the two most high-level human beings as far as their behavior. The
ethically,
cheating,
morally.
Yeah, on a lot of levels. And this has nothing to do with even Republican, Democrat. It just has to do with the type of human being you are. So I was very encouraged by that in terms of our political system. The county, a big shout out to Stacey Abrams, who to me is just an exemplary human being in that she was, as most people understand, with the fact she was cheated out of an election for governor in 2018, I believe it was. And instead of licking her wounds and crying about it, she decided she was going to do something about the system itself, and she's going to do her best to fix the system and to get people to register to vote, and to do her best to make the voting system as honest and honorable as possible. So in my mind, she's a true hero.
And all the folks that work with her and do the work that she does, the activists on the ground, the people canvassing. I mean, it gives me so much hope to think about just, the little guy being able to do that work. Absolutely. And I mean, that's what this country's about. I mean, it should be about the little guy. And I think that's what even some of the protests are about. I think some of the conservatives and Trump people kind of feel like they're the little guy and they're being discounted by the big guys. Sometimes I think their information is a little skewed, but I can relate because we're us little guys. We want to be equal, and that's what the American dream is about. And as far as what went on today, I've said this before, but I do wish that people would consult several different sources for information, not just your friends on social media.
Again, if you're going to watch Fox News an hour, watch an hour of either MSNBC or CNN. Give it a chance. Read several different publications. Get your information from different places. Use your intellect. That's why they send us to school. Learn how to think. Use your common sense. Some things are not that difficult. And then I think we all. I'm sorry for being on my soapbox, but I think it's all part of really what Jesus was talking about. For this is a supposedly Christian country, which it isn't, but there's a lot of Christians in it, and I think all the great religions, with everything in the Talmud and Jewish religion was teaching, and the best of the Muslim is to be able to understand when the shoe is on somebody else's foot and to see it through somebody else's eyes.
Radical empathy.
Radical empathy, excellent. Yeah,
I got that from Cast, the book.
Yeah, great book, by the way. Cast by
Isabel Wilkerson.
Amazing book. So anyway, I'm just a little discouraged about the way it was handled in D.C. today, but sometimes things have to sink to the bottom in order to come back and correct themselves. Hopefully that's the case, and I hope we can learn from this, and I just hope that somehow this division, we can get through this. So
and we'll be here in the meantime.
We will be here doing our part. And for all of you who thank everybody.
Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Lisa, Tom. And thanks to everybody who sent in a donation tonight. We so appreciate
you. We really
you.
do appreciate it. Yeah. And look, it's just about being real. And that's what we're trying to do, right, Alice? We're just trying to be real.
Can't be no other way.
Well, I've made my mistakes in the past, but the older I get, I say, you know what, it just doesn't pay to put on
it's hard to do. I mean, genuinely, I started this show pretty anxious about, what people will say and how they'll feel and not wanting to make anyone uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. But it's at a certain point.
Yeah, you don't want to have to apologize for who you are, And if you do have to apologize for who you are.
And I also want to sing, because that's what I do.
And a great singer you are. And,
have Rory Block next week. We should definitely have Rory back. I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to have everybody back.
We are.
Everybody that was on in 2020, we are going to get them to come back, especially Lawrence Juber and Albert Lee, because
our first two shows,
their sound totally sucked, and I feel really bad about that.
But both incredible players. I mean, guitar shredders, just, luminaries in their own right. So, yeah, stay with us. We're going to keep doing this stuff, and thank you again to our sponsors. Thank you to WPVM. In Asheville.
I'm standing up. I'm turning it off. I'm taking you off the soapbox. Get off that thing.
I'm off the soapbox. Bye, everybody. Be safe.